Hi, my dear friends. Welcome to the first Python tutorial class. In this class, we shall get familiarized with how the Python works in Jupyter Notebook Editor that we can use in the Anaconda distribution environment. Now, as you can see, this is the first cell which that has been clicked, and here we have a blue icon. So this means that this cell is in select mode. Right now, we cannot edit this particular cell, and here there is a header that is Anaconda distribution. Now if I want to edit this particular cell, then what you can do is that you can double click this particular cell, okay, and then click on it, and here you can see there is a green icon. That means now you can edit this particular cell. Now here, in order to ensure that there is a header, like a bold header, you can give a single hash and give space. After that, you can write your description, whatever you like. For example, I have written here Anaconda distribution. Okay. And here, if you go and you select this as Markdown mode, then this particular cell will be treated as a Markdown cell, which will be used only for documentation purpose, not for coding purpose. So hit Shift plus Enter. That is, if you click on the cell, hit Shift plus Enter, and here you go. So now Anaconda distribution is displayed to you in a bold header form. You can also use this run button. You can click on the run button to run it. Now in the second cell, you can see what I've written. Anaconda distribution serves as a comprehensive platform for package distribution. So basically, your Anaconda distribution is a package distribution platform. What kind of package distribution platform? It basically helps in bringing together numerous libraries. This Anaconda distribution, it can basically it bring numerous libraries and tools related to data science, all available in a single suite. So with the help of Anaconda distribution is a package distribution platform. That means here it is used to distribute various types of libraries and related tools that you can use to perform data science related tasks. Okay. Now here you can see these are the bullet points. So if you click on this, double click on this cell, and again click on it, green icon appears, means this cell is now in edit mode. Previously it was in select mode, right now it is in edit mode. Select mode means will be the blue icon, and edit mode means there will be the green icon. Now here you have to give the first hyphen. Like here I've given a small hyphen space, and after that you can write your thing. Like whatever I described to you, that Anaconda distribution serves as a comprehensive platform for package distribution, and that is it is used to it brings together numerous libraries and tools related to data science. Okay. Now right now there are no bullet points. You can see just you can this particular cell is selected. Go and hit the run button, and now you see in bullet points you have the description of Anaconda distribution, and automatically our cursor goes to the next cell. Here you see libraries. What kind of libraries do I mean here in Python, that is in Anaconda distribution? For example, matplotlib. This is a library which is used for visualization purposes. Then Seaborn, it is also a library which is used for again visualization purposes. Then you have NumPy, there is numerical Python. It is used for advanced statistical computations. Then you have, for example, here Pandas. It is used for data manipulation. Then SciPy, that is SCIPY. It is known as scientific Python, and it is basically also used for data science related tasks. Okay. Now here you see like this cell was in Markdown, this cell was in Markdown. If you look at this cell is right now in code. It is in code cell format. So if you run this cell, you won't get any kind of headers or any kind of like these bullet points that I was talking about. Here simply in this particular cell, this can be used not only for documentation purpose, but also you can use this particular cell for coding also. Okay. Like for example, here I can write print. Print is a function in Python to print the output and print whatever you want. Print say 10 plus 20. Now hit Shift plus Enter, and here you see 10 plus 20 is 30. That is the output we get. And nothing related to this documentation has been printed here. Only the related output has been printed here, but not these descriptions. Okay. So in this particular format also, by using hash, you can comment. Basically this hash can be used for commenting. Like that can be also used for your reference purposes. You can keep the cell in code format, then use hash, and then write whatever you want. That will be as comment, that won't be printed, and in that particular cell only you can also do your coding and all. Okay. And in the next cell also, like print 1 plus 12, that is 13. Now, if you go to the next cell, what do you mean by library? Okay, so what is a library? As I told you that what is the Anaconda distribution? Anaconda distribution is a package distribution platform where it can provide you numerous libraries and tools via which you can perform various data science computations or tasks. Okay, so here, as I have written, a library is a compilation of multiple functions. So there are several libraries in Python. Okay, and each library will have some designated functions, and those designated functions can be used to perform some designated tasks. That's what a library is. So there can be several libraries, like as I told you, matplotlib is a library. Seaborn is a library, NumPy is a library, Pandas is a library, SkyPy is a library. Under these libraries, under each library, you will have several distinct functions which can be used for performing several distinct tasks. Okay, that's what I've written here in the second point. It offers a variety of functions designed for a specific domain or purpose. Okay. Then the next thing is Conda. See, these are the very basic things related to Python which you should know, and that will be easy for your job role or your teaching role, whatever you want. What is Conda? Conda is again is a software tool used to manage the Anaconda distribution. So when we are performing or when we are into the Anaconda distribution doing Python coding, then behind the Anaconda distribution platform, we have this Conda software, which is actually used to control and manage this Anaconda distribution. And what is the job of this Conda mainly? It allows us to update, install, or uninstall libraries within the Anaconda environment. Okay. Then next is Jupyter Notebook. What is this Jupyter Notebook? Now see, this particular editor where we have all these cells where we can write all these codes, inside this Anaconda environment. This is your Jupyter Notebook where it is an editor where we can write our Python codes and then perform various tasks. So this is known as an integrated development environment, and it is an editor. Okay, so Jupyter Notebook is a browser based integrated development environment. IDE is the short form. It is an editor which is available inside the Anaconda distribution, and there you can with the help of this Jupyter Notebook you can write down your codes and perform several tasks. And IDE serves as a platform that acts as an interface between the user and the system. So if I am the user and you have the system, then between these two, this IDE, Jupyter Notebook, serves as an interface, or you can say as a platform or as an interface between the user and the system. Then what are the common examples of IDE? IDE examples are like your Jupyter Notebook. Like this particular IDE is your Jupyter Notebook where we are using these cells to write down our codes. Okay, this is an editor, IDE. Similarly, we also have some other editors or IDEs like PyCharm, then like VS Code, then like Spider, then Thorny. Okay, then Jupyter Lab and all this. Edit mode, next is edit mode versus select mode. This already we have seen in edit when this particular cell, when a particular cell is in this blue format, there is this blue icon appears, that means it is in select mode. If you want to edit this particular cell, then you have to better double click it. Okay, and again click it, and the green icon appears, and you can see in this particular cell we use this hash and write this edit mode versus select mode, and select this particular cell as our markdown cell. So this edit mode versus select mode will appear as a header. And right now we can do editing here also inside this cell. Like I can write anything R, T, Y, F, G, whatever you want. Okay, hit Shift plus Enter, and here you go. And code mode and markdown mode already I told you what is code mode and markdown mode. Markdown mode especially is used for all these headers and titles for documentation purposes, and even in code mode also we can do that. Like not headers or titles, but we can comment certain things, and there only we can write down the codes, and together that can be also used for documentation purposes. Okay. Now, here, as I've written, we can just write the Python code in the code mode. If anything else is written, then error will come, isn't it? So, for example, just we can write the Python code in the code mode. If anything else is written, then error will come. For example, here you see in this particular cell, here suppose I delete this particular thing print function and I delete this hash. Okay, now you see this particular cell is in code format. And what I've written here, I've written something. I've not written anything related to any coding here. Just a code is written here without any hash. So this, if you run, this will throw you syntax error, invalid syntax. So what to do? You can write here any hash. And the cell is still in code format. Now if you run it, no error will come. Okay, again commenting, that is just a code, you have commented that with the help of the hash, and it can be used as a reference. Now here also you can do your programming, like print function you use, print 10 plus 30, that is 40. Okay. Next, come down to this particular cell. Now double click it and again click it. So from select mode, we are now into the edit mode because the green icon has appeared. Now nerd here it is written as nerd, and besides that you have hash, then space nerd, and this particular cell is in markdown mode. That means it can be used as a header. So if you run it, bold header you have. Now in this particular cell also, if you double click it and again click it, and this particular cell also you see is in markdown mode, and here I have used two hash. Okay, two hashes are there side by side, then space, and then I have written nerd. So this particular cell will also appear as a bold header, but the size will be lesser than this particular thing. Okay, so if you run this particular cell, you see again this nerd thing appears. Nerd appears as a bold header, but if you see that is the size of this node is less than the size of this particular node, because here we used single hash, here we use double hash. Okay, further if you want to reduce down the size of node, then go to the next cell. Here you double click it, you see three hashes I've used here, then space, then nerd. So this cell is also in markdown mode. If you run it, you will have it in bold header, but the size has even further reduced. Okay, and then like this also, this particular cell, if you double click it, then here I have used four hashes, then space, then I have given nerd, and this cell is also in markdown mode. Then shift plus enter, and here we go. This particular cell also, here this nerd appears as the header, bold header, but the size is even further reduced. And in this particular cell, if you double click it, you see already I told you single hyphen space. If you give nerd and keep the cell in markdown mode, then you can run it, and you see it comes in the bullet point format. Then double click this particular cell. Now to get bullet point also, we can use this single asterisk. You can write space nerd and keep the cell in markdown mode and shift plus enter. Here you go, you have bullet point. Then in this particular cell, now see this is like again the two asterisks, then nerd, two asterisks. Okay, if you follow this, like two asterisks, then nerd, two asterisks, and run it, here you go. Again you have a bold header, but yeah, the size is reduced. Okay, now in this particular cell, if you double click it, single asterisk nerd, single asterisk. Okay, now, obviously, when this cell was in markdown mode and this cell is also in markdown mode, if you run this particular cell, it will come as a italic. Like this, you see, this particular node is written in italic format. Okay. Then if you come down to this particular cell and double click it, and here how many hashes I've used? One, two, three, four, five. Five hashes. Then space nerd for bold italic, and keep this cell in markdown mode. Obviously, you must have understood that when I will run this cell, then this nerd for bold italic appears in bold italic. So this one is in pure simple italics, and this one is in your bold italics. Okay. Then you have some shortcut keys, like for example, shift plus enter. Already I told you it is used to execute a cell. Then use A in select mode to add a cell above a selected cell. So suppose this particular cell, right now if you look closely, there is the green icon that has appeared on this particular cell. That means it is in edit mode. If I press escape button is available on the keyboard, then this particular cell goes into the select mode. Okay, now in the select mode, if you press A, okay, then you see above this cell a new cell got created. Okay, and this cell you can write anything, like for any coding purpose also you can use, or for documentation purpose also you can use, like 10 plus 30 and shall run. Okay, and hit shift plus enter. Now if I want to delete this particular cell, then go, this is in green mode, that means it is in edit mode. Go to the select mode, so press escape button on your keyboard, and right now the blue icon has appeared, so the cell is in select mode. Okay, now if I want to delete this particular cell, you can hit the or press the X button on your keyboard, so the cell is gone. Okay, next is use B in select mode to add a cell below a selected cell. So again, select this cell is already selected, hit the escape button. Now press B on your keyboard, and you see just below this cell a new cell got created. Okay, and if you want to delete this new cell created, then select this and press the escape button, goes into the select mode, press X and the cell is gone. Okay, then use Y in select mode to convert a cell from markdown mode to code mode. So suppose this particular cell I've selected. You see this particular cell is in markdown mode. Okay, and this is in edit. This is in select mode only. Okay. Now if I press Y, you see here previously it was markdown. Now the markdown has changed to code for this particular cell. Okay, and then the next point what I've written is use M in select mode to convert a cell from code mode to markdown mode. Now select this particular cell and press the escape button. It goes to the select mode, and what you can do is that you can press the M button. You can press the M button on the keyboard and hit shift plus enter, and this particular cell if you select, you see it previously it was in code mode and now it has shifted to markdown mode again. Okay, now next point is these are basic things which you already know, like what is an operating system. Okay, so what is an operating system? Now operating system short format I've used here as OS. It acts as an interface. OS, it acts as an interface between the user and the hardware. Okay, OS acts as the interface between the user and the hardware, and OS is a system software. So like what operating system, what it does is that it can act as a resource manager actually. Okay, like it will allow you to have access to all the inbuilt hardwares inside your system. Okay, like it will provide applications and softwares also for accessibility. So OS acts as the interface between the user and the hardware, acts as an interface. So what is an OS? It is a system software. Next, an OS manages resources such as CPU, central processing unit, memory, then input output devices, providing them to applications and other softwares. So you have some software applications, and those software applications need access to CPU, memory, input output devices, then OS, which acts as an interface between the user and the hardware. It is the one which then acts as a resource manager, and it basically manages these resources so that these resources can be provided to these applications and softwares. Okay, some examples of OS like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Unix, DOS. These are some examples of operating system OS. Okay, then you have programming language. You know what is a programming language? Okay, a programming language is what? It is the medium which we use to communicate with the computer system and pass instructions to the system. So it is a communication language with which we can communicate with the computer system and pass on instructions to the system. Then next is it consists of a set of predefined words and characters. There are some predefined words and characters used according to specific rules which are referred to as syntax. So programming language, well, like if you come down to this Python environment, There are some predefined words and characters which have to be used according to some syntax. What is syntax? Some specific rules. Okay, that's what has been mentioned here. And definitely why we use programming languages so as to develop software applications. Okay. Then computer language classifications. These are very basic things which we have done in school level and in college level also, like high level language and low level language. These are the two computer languages that we have. That is, broadly speaking, if you talk about the classifications, computer language classifications, then you have high level language, you have low level language. Okay. Now, what is high level language? What is high level language? It is designed to be user friendly. The user means like me, you. Okay, designed to be user friendly, which is easy to interpret and understand from the user's perspective. Okay, so that can be easily read, that can be easily understood by the user. That is your high level language, which is user friendly, that can be easily understood, that can be easily read, that can be easily interpreted by the user. That's what is a high level language. Some this high level language, that's why it is a simple language which is written in simple English, and that's why English language is used for it. And examples are like Java, Python, C++, R, PHP, C. These are the examples of some high level language. Then another classification of programming language is your low level language. Now, low level language is not at all a user friendly language. Okay, because it is usually written in binary digits, zeros and ones, binary bits, zeros and ones. Okay, and zeros and ones are nothing but signals. Okay, so that definitely it won't be a user friendly language. That's why I've written here the first point. Low level language, it is not a user friendly language. It is rather, second point, if you see, it is a machine friendly language rather, because it is written in simple binary digits like zeros and ones. And if a huge code is written which is only written in zeros and ones, will you be able to understand? You won't be able to understand. That can be understood only by the system, computer system. So that's why low level language is a machine friendly language. Is a machine friendly language. So a machine language is a low level language. Like example of low level language is nothing but your machine language. Machine language is a low level language. Okay, it is as you can easily understand, hard to interpret. It is hard to interpret and understand, because these are written, this low level language example is machine language. It is not written in simple English, written only in zeros and ones, zeros and ones. So what will you make out of it, of the entire coding thing, isn't it, where it is where only zeros and ones appear? That can be understood only by the machine. That's very hard to interpret and understand, and that's why the last point is written in binary digits, zeros and ones. Okay, then you have something known as a translator. Okay, what is a translator? Now this also we have seen. Translator is something which can be used to, convert low level language into high level language, and vice versa, that is convert also the high level language into low level language. It is nothing but a software. Okay, so a translator is a software that can convert your low level language into high level language, and also it can convert high level language into low level language. That's why vice versa. Okay, now there are some translator classifications. Translator classifications. Okay, like one is known as your compiler. If you look into this particular cell, one translator classification is your compiler. Second translator classification is your interpreter. Okay, what is a compiler? A compiler will first read the entire source code. So whatever source code means, again, high level language. That is when a user writes the entire code in English, then that is your high level language, which is nothing but your source code. Okay, so compiler will read this entire source code at first, and then it shall convert, or you can say it shall transform it into machine language. That is low level language. Okay, so what is a compiler? A compiler is nothing but a translator. What is a translator? It is a software which is used to convert low level language to high level language and vice versa. So compiler is a type of translator where it will read the entire source code. It will read the entire source code. Okay, and then transform this entire source code into machine code in one go, just at one time. And source code is what? Source code is your high level language which is written by the user. And what is machine code? Machine code is the low level language. Okay, so source code is your high level language, which is written by the user. And what is machine code? Machine code is the written in machine language, that is, it is written in low level language. So compiler will read the entire source code at first and then convert it into machine code at once. And what is an interpreter? Here is the difference. An interpreter is also a translator which will also read the source code, but it will read the source code line by line and then convert it into machine code line by line. So an interpreter is also a translator which will basically read the source code, and it will read it line by line and convert it into machine code line by line. That is, it will read the high level language line by line and convert it into low level language, that is machine language, line by line. So that's it for this class. If you have any doubts, you can put them down in the comments, and I shall answer them. And if you have liked this class, then you can hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and press the bell icon for notifications. So thank you.